We felt you again and again, not 100% in 100% of cases, but the majority of what was going on in this room took you again and again into the vortex. And it is our promise to you that the vibrational vicinity between who you really are and who you're being in this moment that you are calling present tense, that we are saying is old news, that gap closed dramatically as a result of your participation here with us in these hours that we've been together. In the days that are before you, it is our powerful desire that you just lighten up with this sort of frisky attitude, that you say things to yourself such as, my vortex has been ready for me for a very long time, and now, more than ever before, I'm ready for my vortex. Because as you softly, not in a harsh way and not in a determined way, but in a soft, playful way, as you acknowledge the existence of your vortex and you reach for feelings that feel good while you are there, as you train yourself by practicing the inside the vortex feeling more and more and more, what will begin to happen to you is that more things that make it easier to be there and stay there begin coming to you. More fun friends, more rendezvousing with interesting books and ideas on television, more cooperation from the universe, more opportunities to feel good, more clarity, more stamina, more vitality, more humor, more fun, more money, more of the things that you've been asking for will show themselves to you in very real terms. And you will find yourself again and again making the correlation between what's gone on here in this gathering and what's happening in your life experience. And you can move forward saying to yourself and to anyone else who you think is ready to hear you, I now understand that I am a vibrational being. And I now understand that through the living of this life in this magnificent physical body, I've carved out something that is so much more. And I can feel the power of source energy and all that is standing in readiness to welcome me into vibrational alignment, complete alignment with what I've carved out. And the celebration just goes on and on and on as I'm catching up with the expansion that life has helped me to carve out. And every time I'm in the mode of reaching, I'm happy. And every time I'm in the mode of catching up, I'm happy. The problem is as meaningful to me as the solution because it's all part of the expansion, the joyous expansion that I've come here to live and that I am now consciously, deliberately living. So when you understand that this reality is a vibrational interpretation and you begin feeling for what's in the vortex, what begins to happen is the vortex becomes more vivid. In other words, this is the next step that we want you all to follow us to. So reality is real vivid. Vibrational reality is, for most people, Abraham's imaginary friend. In other words, we got to tell you, it's real. And if you understood that there was a vibrational reality before your earth took form, then you would understand the importance of this vibrational reality. But everything that your world will one day be is already in present tense, vibrationally active right here, right now. So here is this vibrational reality, this vortex of creation that at first you can only feel your way into. You can't look and jump in. You just feel your way there. You can feel that this comment, that this praise feels better than this criticism. You can feel that this love feels better than this hatred. So as you teach yourself the in the vortex feelings and you practice the in the vortex feelings, so you're hanging around in the vortex on a more regular basis, now what happens is you train your vibration into a frequency that allows you to see the contents of the vortex. Are you with us? Yes. That's all that's happened that lets you see this physical world. At one time, you couldn't see it. Now, most of you do. But even as you look around this world with billions of people, you see very different worlds because you are at different vibrational frequencies in your interpretation of that. You are following?
Yes.
You're driving down the same street. Some of you are feeling wonderful and some of you are feeling awful, and it's the same street.
Right.
Some of you are sick. Some of you are well. Some of you are clear. Some of you are confused. It's your frequencies that matter. In other words, if you through your action reach really far and try to do something that feels really, really, really far out, you're not close enough to vibrational alignment with it to maintain it. You cannot sustain it.
Okay.
So unless it feels like the next logical step, we would not take action. So then the question that is logical is, well, how do I parlay my desires into bigger and bigger desires? And we say, you don't have to parlay your desires into bigger and bigger desires. They're already really, really big. We've seen your vortex. It's big enough to keep you busy for 20 or 30 lifetimes. We are not kidding you. What you're talking about is the layer of resistance that you've got going on that is keeping you from seeing it, and that's why it feels mysterious and big. Are you following us?
Yes.
Get in the vortex on a really regular basis, and it won't feel like such a far reach. It will feel like the next logical step. So, did you hear what we said? It was new. We have not said it this clearly before. You feel your way emotionally into the vortex by caring about your mood, by making lists of positive aspects, by being playful rather than crabby and ornery, by looking for reasons to feel good at every opportunity, until you have trained yourself into a sustainable, good feeling in the vortex, chronic vibration. And all kinds of things that were not visible to you a week ago become visible to you. Ideas, rendezvous, more rendezvous, ideas, more rendezvous. People coming to you with ideas, and you can just feel it. And when that momentum begins to happen, you don't feel like you need to call Abraham and say, is this real? Is this for sure? Should I follow this? Your attitude is more like, get out of my way. I don't care what any of you think. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. This is what I was born to do. Right. This is what I was born to do. This is who I was born to be. This is who I am, is the way you pronounce it to the world.
Yes.
No apologies. This is who I am.
Yes.
Free, clear-minded, doing what I want to do with the entire universe, having my back, the entire universe, at my beck and call, the entire universe, assisting me around every turn, always. Whatever I need, handed to me, 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 handed to me. Wow. Handed to me because I'm incapable? No. Handed to you because you ask and you're not in the way.
Yes.
When you're in the vortex, you know this stuff. Yeah. You do. You know it. Mm-hmm. So, knowing what you know, now all you have to do is just tend to your relationship with the vortex and let law of attraction take care of everything else. Really, that's the way that it is. And when you know that, then you bless those experiences. In other words, something will happen. Jerry and Esther and Mike and Karen, when that table came crashing to the floor, they all said, we're going to have a really good seminar on Saturday. Because they know, they've experienced it before. In other words, when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. Esther is more determined to be in the vortex than ever before when she's been out of the vortex. In other words, you all do. You know. You do get clearer and clearer. And so there is not anything to worry about. Everything has been established before your participation in it to inspire from you expansion. Just one thing has to come into place, consciously and deliberately, as a result of the knowledge that you've gathered before and here today. And that is, you have to decide that it matters to you how you feel. Right. Without that missing piece, you have gained nothing from all of this explanation of the laws of the universe. It has to matter to you how you feel, and you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to find relief from negative contemplation. And so that's why we write books and processes, all pointed toward you reaching for a thought that feels a little better. In other words, we just laid a really good new basis to understand this question in a new way. You're going to feel it in just a moment here. So, if it is true, and it is, that as a problem is coming into focus, a solution is too, then isn't it equally true that as a solution is in focus, that an equal problem is in focus too? In other words, have you ever seen a sound wave? Or a light wave, or any kind of vibrational wave? There's two sides to the wave, aren't there? In other words, the wave, it has an equivalent. It can be small and it can be large, but it's equivalent in either case. So, when you knew what you didn't want, and now you know what you do want, so life is moving forward. Now, maybe on another subject, You're more focused on the negative side of the wave than you are the positive side of the wave. So maybe you've tuned yourself negatively. Let's back up. Here'll be an easier way to hear it. You can't set your radio dial on 6:30 a.m. and hear what's being broadcast on 98.7 FM. Frequencies have to match up. The transmitter and the receiver have to be in sync. So let's say that you have several subjects that you are focused upon, and on one particular subject that you've wanted a lot about, you now have managed for a little bit of time to focus more inside the vortex. And so now things are moving along for you in a better way. But because you're not really yet completely at one with maintaining your inside the vortex vibration, occasionally you slip off into another vibration. And when you do, you now have access to the other side, the not good feeling side of that wave. Doesn't that make sense to you? A lot of times people say, I'm afraid to let myself want something because I will be so disappointed if it doesn't come. Well, what that is that's an awareness that I want that and I don't want the opposite of it. But the fact that I really, really, really want it means I really, really, really don't want the opposite of it. And frankly, I was happier when I sort of wanted it and sort of didn't want the opposite of it. When I sort of wanted it, then I could be sloppy in my thinking and it wasn't painful. But now I really want it. When I'm sloppy with my thinking, it's painful. And that's what makes people say, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. As if it has to go bad. I just know it's going to go bad. It always goes bad for me. And we say, it depends on where you're focused. The potential for wondrous or awful things is yours in every moment. And it all depends on where you've trained yourself. So now, think of different people you know, or different segments of society that you know, and think about what their waves are like. In other words, there are some people that don't let themselves dream big ever, because they don't want the other side of it. And there are people who dream so big, who are sloppy in their thinking, that live really awful things. Isn't it remarkable how many really, really famous people at what seems to be the top of their game crash and burn so badly? And doesn't it make sense to you now that you understand the wave? So then you say, okay, I sort of get this. And I've decided not to be a deliberate creator after all. I'm going to play it safer. I'm just going to want a little. And we say, we should have told you sooner, but you now know too much. You can't go back. Life is parlaying you into fantastic things, you see. So what we're really talking about here is you got to focus. You got to focus, because what's coming to you is coming in response to your allowance. And here's the thing that makes what we just said to you interesting and funny, but different than the way we were playing with it. And here's what we mean by this. You've already played your hand. You've already been living your life. You've already been asking and asking and asking and asking and asking and asking and asking. In other words, you've already put who you really are over here in this vortex of creation, and you really have no choice other than to get up to speed with who you are. So what you just said to us is, well, I've been letting myself get up to speed with who I am, but now I'm worried because I can't maintain it. And we say, you got to practice that. You'll crash and burn a few times, but all that'll do is make you more determined to focus until you'll reach the place where it will matter to you that you focus inside the vortex. Good time for a segment of refreshment. Now what? We have enjoyed this immensely. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain blissfully and eternally in the vortex.
Back with you.